Welcome back to the Barrel Zone, 14th of February, Sunday morning NBA betting analysis. As usual, we have a nice little 10 game Sunday slate to break down. I have a couple of bets already in, looking at a couple more games as usual. Most of the stuff is off the board on Pinnacle, but we'll go through all the games as always. If you have any comment or feedback, you can reach me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and get into the Discord channel where you get all my plays and write-ups on all the games. So let's get right into it. We have one early game. Wizards hosting the Boston Celtics. Game is off the board. Should be opening up around 6.5. Celtics being road favorites. That is, I make the game Celtics minus 6.5. They have only one injury. Smart is out. I don't think anyone else who may affect the line is questionable here. As for the Wizards, they are fully healthy. Obviously, they have Thomas Bryant out for the whole season, but I'm not going to mention him anymore as he's obviously always out. So the Wizards, minus 15 point differential through the past 2 weeks on average. They grade as the 27th best offense and the 27th best defense in the league. They have the worst ATS record. They are underperforming the closing spreads by 11 points on average. Not great. So yeah, Celtics, they have faced a pretty tough recent schedule. They played the best teams in the league through the last 2 weeks, the Jazz, the Clippers, the Lakers. So their recent numbers aren't as great. They grade around league average, but the schedule was pretty difficult. Here they will have a huge rebounding edge. The matchup is pretty amazing for them. Celtics are one of the teams who are preferring mid-range jumpers over anything else. Basically, Wizards allow the highest number and the highest field goal percentage from mid-range jumpers. Also, as I said, Boston is 7th in offensive rebounding. Wizards are just 24th. Overall, I think this is a great matchup for the Celtics. The Wizards' defense is next to last in points per possession, third worst in effective field goal percentage, second worst in free throw rate allowed, and they face the third easiest schedule in the whole league. So yeah, overall, I still feel that we are at the bottom point with the Wizards. The market cannot downgrade them any further. If you just look at the lineup, I think the name quality or the talent level isn't as bad as they play. The chemistry just isn't there. It isn't working. Westbrook, Beal, Hachimura, Burton, Slant should be the starting lineup today. I mean, that's not horrible, but still, I cannot back them. If anything, I would look at the Celtics. I would need probably 5, maybe 5.5. At 5, I would probably bet them. Wizards are on a back-to-back. They are hosting the Rockets tomorrow in a way more winnable game. So if the Celtics start rolling here, we could see the Wizards sitting their key players, resting them for tomorrow. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizards end up punting this game, but I think 6.5 is the correct line here. So I would need more value on the Celtics to get involved. Next game, Detroit Pistons hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans are laying 4.5 points on the road. I make this one 4. This isn't a great matchup, to be honest, and we are consistently overlooking the Pistons. If Grant is playing well, and he usually is, then they are super competitive. They know how to play close games. Getting points at home with them is always something I'm looking to bag, but not in this case. Pelicans are third in offensive rebounding, sixth in defensive rebounding. Detroit is ranked 9th and 21st. So yeah, huge rebounding edge going towards Detroit. Their offense has been pretty amazing lately. Through the last 2 weeks, they grade as the third best offense, putting up 124 points per 100 possessions. Their offense is 7th in points per possession overall through the season and 11th in effective field goal percentage. Detroit ranks 22nd and 29th defensively in these categories. So yeah, Detroit defense isn't very good. Obviously, probably the Pelicans will score here, but and here comes the but. Defensively, Detroit isn't that bad. In fact, they allow 3 less points per 100 possessions than the Pelicans, and most importantly, they know how to defend the paint. And these two teams are both in the top 5 when it comes to getting to the paint. They just push into the paint, get to the rim, go for the easy layups, dunks, etc. Just big boy their way in. And Detroit is pretty decent at defending the rim. They are allowing the 10th lowest field goal percentage there, while the Pelicans allow the 4th highest. So yeah, obviously with the rebounding edge, I'm still not obvious. Detroit just traded Rose. I don't like that move. They have Plumlee is questionable and Okafor is out, so the front court could be way thinner than what we used to. So I'm not going to get involved. I think the line is right, but this at first look, this would seem like a great deal with the Pelicans, but if you look into the matchup, it isn't as good. Charlotte Hornets hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs are 1.5 point road favorites. I think that's kind of wrong. I have these two rated super close, but the recent trends of the Hornets are way better than what we've seen from the Spurs. So San Antonio, they ran offensively is just nothing. They have one efficient player truly in DeRozan, and Mills was like decent when it comes to offensive efficiency, but the rest of the team is below league average. Overall, through the season, they grade 19th in points per possessions offensively. Through the last 2 weeks, they grade 24th. I mean, yeah, they have a +1 point differential, but -6 against the closing spreads. They faced a super easy schedule these last 2 weeks, and they have been consistently underperforming against the closing spreads. They are just not good offensively, and the defense is, while it's pretty great, they grade 5th in points per possessions allowed, 5th best defensive rebounding, 4th in free throw rate. Overall, it's a decent defense, but if you don't put up points offensively, it's just not working. And the Hornets actually started to put up points. Through the last 2 weeks, they grade as a 10th best offense in the league, and through the season they are kind of league averages. But the recent trends through like 3.5 weeks, they have been getting pretty good, and they are looking good. Ball movement is great since Ball has been slotted into the starting lineup. Still, Spurs will have a rebounding edge, obviously. But I think the matchup is pretty decent for the Hornets on either side of the ball. We know that the Spurs are one of those teams like the Celtics who favor mid-range jumpers more than anything. Spurs put them up at the 2nd highest rate in the whole league. And the Hornets allow the lowest frequency of these shots and the 6th lowest field goal percentage on these. On the other end, I'm always bashing the Spurs that they are a decent defense, but they cannot defend the 3 ball. They grade 20th in 3-point percentage allowed, and the Hornets are top 10 3-pointing team right now when you check the frequency and efficiency as well. So yeah, I think if the Hornets just don't force that they should get into the paint, if they just move the ball like they do recently and they stick to the outside shots, they will be able to score. And I'm not sure the Spurs will be able to score. As Hornets are decent at, as I said, decent at defending the mid-range jumpers. Overall, the defensive numbers are getting better. They aren't a terrible defense in the paint either now. So yeah, injuries. Aldridge out for the Spurs. PJ Washington is doubtful for the Hornets. He's averaging 102 points per 100 possessions, one of the worst offensive efficiencies, offensive ratings on the team. I'm not downgrading the Hornets if he's out. They might go with a smaller lineup. That's what will probably happen, but I think they will be able to get the W here. Toronto Raptors hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. Toronto is leading 8.5 points. I mean, how far did we come? Like 3-4 weeks ago, if in the same matchup, I think Toronto would have been like 3-point favorite maybe. So yeah, Raptors have been quietly on a roll through the last 3-4 weeks. They started the season terribly slow, but Siakam finally turned it on. They grade as the 8th best overall offense and the 6th best through the last 2 weeks, plus 7-point differential, plus 5 against closing spreads. They are here at home on extra rest. Everything is setting up great. OG is questionable for Toronto, but for Minnesota, D'Angelo Russell will be out and Carver will be out. I said I'm not backing them until Russell comes back and he's fully healthy. He couldn't really get healthy at any point basically this season. Karl-Anthony Towns is back. He played 2 games, but he's limited to 30 minutes per game right now. I don't think that will get higher. He's recovering from COVID, but I mean, the team is tanking and they don't want him to get injured. So yeah, him at 30 minutes, I mean, obviously he's still worth a lot. You have to upgrade this team, but he won't be playing 40 minutes like many teams play their stars. Wolves overall 28th best offense through the season, 25th defensively. Perimeter defense has been getting better for them. They actually allow the lowest number of 3-pointers in a game. And the percentage they allow has been getting better. They are just allowing average efficiency right now. This could come in handy as Toronto is putting up the 5th most threes in the league, and they have top 5 percentage also. So yeah, I kind of like what we've seen from Toronto, but I think they have a super low ceiling. They are now the 8th seed in the East. I think they can kind of get into the playoffs, but I'm not expecting anything there. So yeah, you still have to manage the expectations when you are backing the 8th seed in the East, and we are laying 8.5 points. It's quite a lot. And I mean, the Wolves defense has been getting better. Both teams have terrible rebounding. So yeah, the Raptors obviously are shooting better. They are drawing tons of free throws. Minnesota gives up the 4th most in the league. So there are bright spots in matchup does look decent, but I think this 8.5 points is just the super limit you can you can lay with the Raptors, and I'm not running to the window laying this, to be honest. This is still not an amazing team laying almost 10 points here, and Karl-Anthony Towns will do whatever he wants against them. So yeah, this could be a 30-point blowout, but I won't have a ticket with either team. Dallas Mavericks hosting the Portland Trail Blazers, 2 teams that have been fading the most. Blazers have been outperforming expectations like crazy. Basically, they have been better against closing spreads, better in point differential since Nurkic and CJ McCollum has been out than they were before. Obviously, some guys stepped up. Gary Trent Jr. is bowling out of his mind, who has been playing decent. They have a couple of players who have been stepping up, but overall, why they look good, there is a very simple reason for that. They face the easiest schedule of opposing defenses in the whole league. They are playing shitty teams. They face like Washington, Cleveland, the Magic, Chicago, Houston. None of these teams play really defense. So yeah, I think this is the current rating is a joke basically here, but on the other side, I cannot back the Mavs as they have been so bad. Dallas ranks as the 4th worst defense through the season and the worst defense through the last 2 weeks. Absolutely worst. They are allowing 124 points per 100 possessions. 0 defense played by either of these teams. The total is 239. You rarely see that. So yeah, but the Blazers will have a rebounding advantage. I think they will be able to score at will. Lillard has the highest usage rate in the league since the other two top players on the team did go down, and obviously he knows how to beat and score on shitty teams. So if I'm making this 4.5 to 5, Dallas by 4.5 to 5, line is 4.5. But if I would have to take a side, I would probably go with the Blazers, as the Dallas defense is so bad. And I while I still want to fade the Blazers, as they have had faced such an easy schedule, and they were bailed out. I thought that they will crash when they had all these injuries, but the schedule is just so nice for them so far that they did survive. But I think there will be spots in the next week or so still where we can fade them before the guys start coming back. So yeah, either team could win this game, to be honest, and one is laying 4.5 points. I think, yeah, the Dallas Mavericks probably will figure it out at one point in the season, but they aren't really a good team. Milwaukee Bucks on the road laying 11 points to the OKC Thunder. OKC, another one of these teams that's ravaged by injuries. SGA, the best player, best scorer, is out. Hill is out. Maladon is out. For Milwaukee, Holiday is still out. So yeah, OKC, worst offense in the league through the last 2 weeks, second worst through the season, and they lost their two leading scorers, basically. Where do you downgrade them? I think I'm guilty as charged also, but many of us made the mistake that we have been downgrading OKC way further than we should have with these guys out. I think they didn't really get any worse with SGA out, to be honest. The guys who have been slotted into the starting lineup play better defense overall. They have been graded as the second best defense through the last 2 weeks, and they played the Lakers twice. They played the Brooklyn Nets, and they played the Denver Nuggets through the last 2 weeks. And against these teams, they allowed 105 points per 100 possessions. That's the second best in the NBA. So yeah, I'm not laying 11 points with the Milwaukee Bucks after seeing these guys keep it so close with all the top teams. Dort and Beasley all playing great basketball defensively. Obviously, this team cannot score. They are one of the worst when it comes to offensive efficiency, and the Milwaukee defense has been slowly getting better. They are now a borderline top 10 defense, but still. I could bring up many points that helps make a case for Milwaukee. Obviously, if they get to the rim, they have the highest field goal percentage. They get to the rim at an insane pace. Giannis can get in there and get the easy basket. OKC's defense is decent, but it's decent outside, and inside they allow the second highest field goal percentage in the paint. Old man Horford can't keep up with the youngsters. So yeah, I think this is a decent matchup. OKC keeps opponents to a bottom 5 field goal percentage from the threes. So yeah, Bucks won't be able probably to get a high 3-point percentage, but they will be able to get into the paint and get the easy baskets. But still, I think this OKC team with SGA out isn't worse. It's just different. They play a super low pace, just holding opponents to low scores, and they are getting 11 points here. So honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards OKC. I like the Bucks, but they aren't the team that they were last year when they were blowing teams out by shit tons of points. And yeah, they sometimes do that this year, but usually they play way closer games, and this is just a 225 total with a 10 spread. So yeah, it's OKC a bust for me, but I agree with the spread, to be honest. But if this gets over 11, like if this gets to 12, I would probably get involved with the home team. Yeah, the defense is legit, and then both teams can play decent defense here, and I think this will be a lower scoring one. Phoenix Suns hosting the Orlando Magic. Magic, this is a game where we don't really know who will play for Orlando. Obviously, Fights out for the season. Gordon is out for this game. Questionables are Fournier, Cole Anthony, and James Ennis. Obviously, those are three starters. They're starting two guards and they're small forwards. So, yeah, good luck figuring it out. Yeah, I mean, if they are all out, this will the current line is 8.5 on soft books, but this will go above 10, I think, if all these guys are out. But on the other end, Phoenix, they have been playing last night, so they are on a back-to-back. They played pretty low minutes, and they played an early game, so it's not a huge downgrade. But if there is any spot through the schedule where you can afford to rest guys, this is it. And I think they will rest some of their guys. We've seen Chris Paul sitting out. A couple of like Saric and the other Spain just came back from injuries. I'm sure they won't play here on the tail end of the back-to-back, and you are laying 8.5 points. So yeah, I think the problem here is that Orlando still has Vucevic, and he will do whatever he wants in the paint. And Orlando is playing the third lowest pace in the league. They still have pretty decent rebounding, and the Phoenix defense isn't great, and it has been getting worse. They actually grade as the 18th best defense through the last 2 weeks. So yeah, again, similar situation than to the OKC one. How far you can downgrade the Magic? They still have a couple of NBA caliber players stepping up. Michael Carter Williams is coming. He came back. He played like lights out in the last game. Terrence Ross is a guy you can slot into the starting lineup. I mean, those guys aren't like a huge downgrade over like compared to Ennis and Cole Anthony, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't want to lay the points here, to be honest. The low pace, Vucevic having a decent matchup, and I think Suns will take it easy. And yeah, I mean, stylistically it's great for them, but they will probably not play to cover this spread. Another low total of 217. Yeah, it's dog or pass for me. If everyone is in, I would probably just grab the points. But another game I'm not really interested in, as I could make strong cases against either side. LA Clippers hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. This will be quick. These two teams played not too long ago. Clippers closed -9 with George and Beverly out. George will be out here, but Beverly is back. Spread is 10. I think that's a fair correction based on Beverly being back. Clippers won the first game by 22. They grade as the second best offense in the league, facing one of the worst defenses. Through the last 2 weeks, Cleveland grades as the 28th best offense, 29th best defense, -17 point differential, -11 against closing spreads on average. They have nice offensive rebounding. They force a pretty high amount of turnovers, but I mean, besides that, they don't have anything. All the stats are super terrible. Clippers offense second in points per possession, third in efficiency, and they will face a team that ranks way outside of the top 20 defensively in these categories. I think this is a level the Cavs cannot handle. I make it 10. So yeah, no edge on either side. Sacramento Kings hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are laying 2 points on the road. The Kings have some questionables, but I think if they are in, the Kings should be at least a pick 'em, but probably slight favorites. So there might be value on getting on the Grizzlies right now. So Bagley and Fox are questionable. Obviously, these are key starters. They worth multiple points. So if they are sitting, I can accept the Memphis -2 line. In fact, I would make it Memphis -2 if they are both out. But if they are announced out and this moves out further towards the Grizzlies, you have to jump on the Kings. I'm not loving the spot for them, to be honest. They are hosting the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow in a way bigger game. I think the questionables will be probably kept out here, and they will try to win the game without them. And if Bagley or Fox is able to go, they will play tomorrow. Memphis also has some questionables. Clark is questionable. Bane and Melton are out. The Grizzlies grade as the fourth worst defense through the last 2 weeks. What we've seen from them has been pretty fucking terrible. While the Kings have been slowly getting better defensively through the whole season, they still grade as the worst defense in the NBA. But through the last 3-4 weeks, pretty long stretch in such a short season, they grade as the 13th best defense, which is slightly above average, and they face the fourth most difficult overall schedule. So yeah, I'm kind of believing in the Kings right now. They performed well against a strong schedule. They have guys stepping up, but I don't like that they play Brooklyn tomorrow. I think if this game starts to get out of hand, they will just punt it. They won't fight to come back. Bagley and Fox, I think they will sit out. But if they are in, I think the Memphis -2 line is just bad. Grizzlies have a huge rebounding edge. They are top 5 in offensive rebounding. Sacramento defensive rebounding is bottom 5. So huge mismatch. But I think it's Kings or bust. But I would need the two guys in. Grizzlies are extremely inconsistent. Like, you really cannot expect anything from this team, and I think making them road favorites here is just a bit too much, even with these questionables, especially as they have guys out or tagged as questionable. All right, final game on the slate, and this is one that I like a lot. LA Lakers on the road, 2-point favorites in Denver. Denver, huge injury issues. Gary Harris still out. His backup Dozier is out. Now Will Barton, another starter, also out, and Murray is questionable. Murray has been playing a few games, coming back from injury, but he's clearly not 100%. He's playing through these injuries, but I mean, if he sits, that's 3 starters and one of the better backups on the team out. If he plays through it, I'm not sure that Denver is in a better shape, to be honest. AD questionable for the Lakers. He has been out for a few games, and he was tagged as questionable on Friday, but he played on Friday. He played through the game. He said his Achilles was sore towards the end of the game. Maybe he sits, but I think this is a big game. Would be great to have him obviously going up against Jokic. But I think even if he sits out, I like the Lakers. I mean, Harris, Barton, Dozier, that's a bit too much for me, and Murray not being 100%. I said that the Lakers offense hasn't been as amazing through the past few weeks. They had like that 7-game road trip. They played with AD out a pretty low pace. They weren't running that much. They are playing it safe, basically, is what I'm saying. But this is a 2-point spread, so it's not like that they will win, but they won't cover. I don't like laying big spreads with them, as they always play smart and just play for the win, and they don't put more energy into games than they should. But this is an amazing matchup for them. So yeah, Lakers defense, first in points per possessions, allow third in effective field goal percentage. They force the 11th most turnovers, 7th in defensive rebounding, third lowest free throw rate allowed. Denver, they have been decent through the season, but now the last 2 weeks they faced a tough schedule, like they played Milwaukee, the Lakers, Utah, etc. And all their stats on both sides of the ball were league average. They kind of could hang with them, but defensively they fell to like number 20. And yeah, they played some easy games in between these bigger games, and they couldn't really boost their overall production up enough to just stay league average. As we go into the matchup, Lakers get to the rim at the 7th highest rate in the league, and they have the second highest field goal percentage. I'm always saying Denver is the worst defense in the paint in the whole league. They allow the 30th field goal percentage. They're like 70% plus on average. So yeah, Lakers will be able to get to the rim. They will be able to score. Denver is basically the shot selection is either mid-range jumpers or three-pointers. Lakers allowing the second lowest field goal percentage on mid-range jumpers and the third lowest field goal percentage from downtown. So yeah, I think overall, if you check the shot map, this is an amazing matchup to the Lakers, as good as it gets. Denver has been bad recently. I mean, not bad, but underwhelming. Lakers defense is grading best in the league through the whole season. Through any time frame you are checking, they are the best defense in the league right now. Amazing matchup. Even if AD out, I think I would back the Lakers. Uh, the Denver Nuggets are just in a way rougher shape right now. And they are a super thin team. They did lose some guys in the off season, and there weren't as many or as high quality new arrivals. I think the depth of the Lakers will be just too much, and basically I don't really care about the number here. I will just play the matchup, and I like the Lakers as short road favorites. So, summing it up, not many games that I like, not many sides that I like. It's pretty rare that on these big slates that there aren't really any super good games to attack. I like the Charlotte Hornets as home dogs. They shouldn't be dogs. They should be very slight favorites here. I think that line is off and we'll move back towards the Hornets. I like the Lakers a lot, as I said, and basically that's it. Yeah, that's it. The Kings. If Fox and Bagley both play, I would make this Kings -1 to 1.5. So this is like a 3.5, 4 point adjustment. And the Memphis -2 line tells you that these guys will be out, and the books expect these guys to sit. But I also expect them to sit. So I'm not thinking that I will have action on this game, especially as the Kings are hosting Brooklyn tomorrow. So yeah, for today it's just a short card for me, but I like those two sides that I mentioned. All right, thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow at the same time. We have pretty big slates for the next couple of days, so I will be probably streaming on all days in the next, at least until Wednesday. And I see you guys tomorrow. Good luck with your wagers, and take it easy. It's Sunday.